Sangye Chedang
Tuje Zonamla Chanju Pardo Dani Gyapsunje Dage Jinso Gibe Zonamje Nola Benje Sanje No Sangye Chedang Zoge Zonamla Chanju Pardo Dani Gyapsunje Dage Jinso Gibe Zonamje Nola Benje Sanje No Varasho Sanje Chedang Zoge Zonamla Chanju Pardo Dani Gyapsunje Dage Jinso Gibe Zonamje Nola Benje Sanje No Varasho Sanje Chedang Zoge Zonamla Chanju Pardo Dani Gyapsunje Dage Jinso Gibe Zonamje Nola Benje Sanje No Varasho. Till enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma. May I create in this practice, may I, for the benefit of all sentient beings, from now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by the may I create in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by the may I create in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Yada Kuni Savara Kazan someday there's a general pattern to the Chibumara Jibiti Irani to pass in the Rite Chepache, Samluta, Nebanye, any Nebanye, Tardu, questions on the Susuro Langini, Tata Cheni, any near return the Tape, Vibashindak in the Banani, any Tamji returned in Dordu Megangela to touch forest, Helen Dordu Megangela. Sava in the Tundas in the Hapu.
So, we are going through the text, cutting through appearance, practice and theory of Tibetan Buddhism, the English translation, and where the actual subject of the text is tenets or Buddhist philosophy, and the tenets here refers to the conclusion or the a conclusion which came after making series of analysis, and that cannot be philosophically cannot be avoided. You came to this cannot be challenged by other school of thoughts.
Tindi indigala truthade so tavegun chebares. Ani teaching themen se 이 접이천 기바숨디 접이천 치고래스 기바숨디 접바 가르잖아 삼바 야충충 삼로 야충충 데라 팀이 랑 코라 마도 섬미당게 랑 지고에네 탈반정인지라 다 나송기 동알레 견도다 코르베 동알레 견도다 아니 지랑 지부 대완데 동알 민데베 유전이지니 탈베 고방 쪽인데라 이 팀인스 아니 때자마인 바 가서 대완도바 지수 동알민도바 지수 이 인디가라 라치포 랑라네 대완데 동알민도바 인자 젠라 치바 지수 대 인자 아니 인디기 미율 치바 임바 삼노타네 사기 고방 동인들에 대바침보스 시고하네 인디가라 티초비침 치고하레스 어때 되니기 가족이 개브라왕기 다웨 개브라왕기 둘타지비죠 주비 개브라왕기 the
tenets, which there are 4 tenets here, are based mainly on the philosophical thoughts. While when we categorize Buddhists into three vehicles. These three vehicles are mainly kind of the result of based on practices. So, for example, when we categorize Mahayana, higher vehicle or lesser vehicle, Mahayana and lesser vehicles, the lesser vehicles refers to the practitioners who mainly sort of focused on their own benefit. Although they do perceive the suffering of lower realms and the suffering of sacred existence, and seeing this suffering, they want to liberate or free oneself only. So it's more kind of self-oriented. While Mahayana, the higher vehicle, they have a broader understanding that basically all sentient beings have the same common desire of not wanting suffering and achieving happiness. So therefore, in order to benefit entire sentient beings, they try to strive to achieve enlightenment.
Pali sung thawni ha sung shakyate hem shwe karina Pali thawni ke thawni sung kyote ini chik themen ani Sanskrit ki sung thawni sung shakyate ke jimba tsen duso yang wongpatal na gyo res e kebar chiyo res arjana kebar chembo de ko kya chembo tang ani samlo ting zabo tang waya tendi jing zang ani ke tiang ha changi hagi keba namje jin te sugi peje tang ya ani Sanskrit te thola chumden rangi song re si tendi ki tone chik Sanskrit ge luse te tang Pali ge luse ni khai ngade tusi de ani tar yondi gala Pali tradition bo lochola tar in Sanskrit tradition Sanskrit ki nyam luso de keba chame nga de cheba chadang yondengi jang tar to cheti gala ani chik lojang ki kebar de yulu ki chani lojang ki kebar to cheni thejen de kemen de kebar to chen chegi ores.
And another way of looking at the differences between higher vehicle and the lesser vehicle is the higher vehicle is mainly taught in Sanskrit language by Buddha, and Sanskrit language which is mostly used by scholars, and which deals with the kind of in-depth philosophy and a broader range of the subject, while the lesser vehicle were mainly taught in the Pali language. And if you look at the geographical location of these two, different sort of category, we can see Pali, teachings were mainly based in this most southern part of the Asian continent, while Sanskrit tradition more kind of started and flourished towards northern part.
Yemen, Japan, Thailand, Cambodia, nipe soko.
So the Mahayana tradition flourished in the nation of Cambodia, Thailand, China,
Thailand,
Cambodia,
Ghana, Japan, Korea, Cambodia, ani anda sokochi, poechi, Himalayan.
So the Mahayana tradition mainly flourished in the nation like China, Japan, Korea, Cambodia, Mongolia, Tibet, and then nation along the Himalayan ranges.
Ani lochade manche dita pake Burma, Sri Lanka teso.
And the Pali tradition will mainly flourish in the country like Burma or Myanmar and Sri Lanka.
인디갈라다 인상 겨울무지 탑게 드시 전부 아기 공부하시는 대진 테메만 손체 망체데 아니 즉 산스크리트 루소다 니 팔리 루소지 두수가 좀 되게 좀 되게 겨울무지 대문에 탑게 보지 되시야 나로라 거기 대진 테메는 나양 도서 개발 멤버 체스리가 캔들지도 인디기 아주 마송체 팔리 당하네 산스크리트 공부에 한 탑게 보지 되셔야지 겨울무지 투모마인비 답에 답기지.
And nowadays, during His Holiness teaching, he tends to use more kind of this category rather than using Mahayana or Hinayana, higher or lesser vehicle. He used Pali tradition, Sanskrit tradition, which sort of reflects his unique, skillful means of teaching these two different traditions.
아주 좋다. 하기 다 다르다. 주로 다른 도르즈 유나 텐디지레스. 다때 인디갈라 계산 바기니 디제데갈라 니반 더데제베 마라기 빌루 라스 지람 디부숨 세디갈라 바기 람지 라진다다 디부 띵이 아니 다소 낭비 추기 냠는 컨디션 추기 컨디션 냠는 지기에메 컨디션에 람 컨디션 딩구에메 딜란 디체나 디부 컨디션 더구에메 때까지 시거래 지네주데 타코 유진네주도 유진네주 연디갈라 인상게니 즉 오늘 생리바다 템바 오늘 왜 네주 거란데 바기 제바치 왜 네수 컨디션도 대상마다에 이 차리가 됐어.
So what we are going through the text and the Tenets text, and we came to the higher vehicle, and within the higher vehicle, middle way, autonomous school and consequent school. And for the autonomous school, if you remember, there's a further categorization, and we are on the Sutra Autonomy Middle Way School. And so the Sutra Autonomy Middle Way School, when we go through this school, just like other ways of classification, we see basis, path, and result. So the path, as you know, refers to the means and methods through which one can attain respective destination or realization, while basis if further categorized, we know from the previous section, subject and object, and these two, as we discussed before, are based on the reality of the phenomena, and many of the these as said before, has similarities, or we can compare with the modern scientific understanding.
Enna wangpi yul ngejen chari yore. Andesi tena ko kashi yul korang ten mado yul to mitbiya. Kashi wangpi yulina kashi yul matebe goni taringboni ko to tbiya teni yongdo anradeso yul ngebardo 타 니버진 최고의 민도. 시에서 남바 상계be 가르잖아. 왕비율 소소소소 내버려스. 왕비율 페나 미식이 다 되고 말이스. 미드미데야데 율 내받진 인상 되고 말이스. 지기 니시 마인데 왕비선도 내치르스 봐. 율 대인들가라 왕보스인데 배율 내받진 근데 인자 아니 wangpo chi ki yul mandani longche tu marisa suware. 이 인디간라 왕보대 체진지 차도와 지나 왕보 나시도가라 주경보 트로용보 미공보 나용보 내용보 제용보 류경보 저리 왕보 나데 그 체진지 차도요 다 이게 왕보대 이 왕보 당보 나래 아니 즉 양타로 친 말이야 근데기 개발 전부터 왔대 솔라야 또서 사이언스 받아 팀받 망보 삼로 땅에 라 아니 아주 심지어 망으로 제거해야 돼 삼로 망 땅 따와도 뺏겠지 못이야 돼요 그래서
And the object of the observation of the senses, sense organ, how our senses perceive its target or object of the observation. In the text, it says that the object of the observation of the sense organ are definite. One sense organ won't be able to perceive or comprehend other object of observations of other sense organs. So, for example, the consciousness, eye consciousness, won't be able to. Doesn't have the ability to listen to the sound. Eye consciousness can only sees things and has no ability. So, if you know the five sense organ, eye, nose, ear, tongue, the body, and among these, when you look at these five, this mental consciousness is much more subtler than these previous five sense organ, and so how can mental consciousness perceives its object, target object? And we mentioned before there are many ways that we can do further analysis, and there are lots of things that are compatible with the scientific findings.
So, then 왕보 체진 인상 덴반 남시대야 왕보 당봉하대 체진지 차버려. 이니 곧때 강라 댄스 지대 체진지 차버려 와. 라바 차려 와. 강라 댄스 지 이왕데 차와다. 아니 코베 타이버지 제투의 인상 도바 남도 게 왕보고 댄지 인상 디 남시대라야 토바메게 삼로다나 랍 전부 땅투야 댄지 용도도 와. 이 시대야. 아니 즉 남돈 잠미라 간데지 참나 철기 연맹이 어떻게 댄지도 어때서야? 즉 딘디 인디가라 강 이긴 남시 세나민도 셰바 강 셰바 아니베 셈라텐데기 기 장배 연된데 아니 소스 베지 당기나 삼로 당기나 타예바 아니베 장배 연데 장주기 셈 니지 첨보스드 곰나 곰 아니 곰바 글랩주나 탐메도 필기 여긴지 자디요래 세송도 어떻게 되게 뭐네 아주 즉 남배치니다 셈트라 이 개발 방법 시기요래 대주 인데가라 대조라 양양도 삼는다 양양도 지기 있나 오니 벤더 용도를 쓴 것도 있어.
So five sense organ and then related to the five sense organ there are five consciousness, eye consciousness, nose, ear, and so on and so forth. So since the sense organ themselves are limited at more kind of grosser level, the consciousness that kind of based on these sense organs are also limited. So that's why we mentioned before, eye consciousness can only see things but won't be able to hear. But the mental consciousness, which is the sixth, is, as said before, is much more subtler and doesn't have a limitation like physical other consciousness. So therefore, if we try to develop and improve the mental qualities, we can improve kind of in an unlimited way, unlimited extent. That is what is mentioned in the Buddhist scriptures. The positive qualities of the mind, and also the mind can have unlimited numbers of conceptions or misconceptions that we can experience. So the mind itself can also categorize into different levels or stages. So thinking about all these different kind of stages or types of the mind, should be kind of helpful or beneficial.
But tizo ji namjane yongware ani mune insan theri bat zoge ari la te thola halebe nangbale ari mus tengyor nangpe samudane ko yunji te phagi mato tendi mus tendan sandabar de cheji kai jayo mares sendri bota pe taje tan tandarang mus tengyor te indi halebe chari mares te thola ina sheba tharagi namse de tendra pa tendi bale tan nambe yungde shira zaba chayo mares iki namse ki ta korde Ombung ade ta tendi pate mar chayo mares tengyor ba.
So, that these all, when we study Buddhist tenets, this all comes under the, from the three category, basis, path, and result. This all comes under the basis. And as said before, when we talk about basis, there are many things that are kind of common for both scientific study as well as for Buddhism. But about the five sense organ and how they function and their nature, through this scientific understanding, we can actually kind of see, all these, how sense organ function and their kind of, structure. But the sixth, that is the mental consciousness, you can, find much more kind of in-depth study materials in Buddhism as compared to a scientific study.
Oda tindri indiganla ta karu mazudi. Oda tisu ta rabz yuyade karzana mazu insan gyawarum buchige pari siri bida kame nangsade so wangpungi yul chawache thang iki namshegi tokpan raminda ke thang sem tharagi rothang tisu kemgorum buchige chige siri ba kewa tisu tingin to manche kame nangsade teba nangyaware isi.
So why we deal with what we said before is because these are the kind of grounds on which His Holiness and the Buddhist scholars sort of discuss with the modern scientific understanding. How sense consciousness perceives things and how they function and how kind of different conceptual thoughts arises and different levels, gross and subtle, different levels of mind or consciousness.
Thank you, Adara. Thank you, Ngoni logging in, set in Karin Mana has a cool Mombun Tamjara. Thank you, was Tumda Jinani, Yangse, thank you, was singing it. Tamuni Gumbulutu, Sangigang, Dawatapa, Ani Tini living Juala, but that Tizugi, Keva Tizugi, and Tawato, Jamdendi, Sanskrit Kela Sunganane, Tawa Tartu that, thank you, Tawade, Tati Chagores. That it Tardugal Tawa Pe, thank you, Lula, thank you, Sidigala, Karzana, Hagi, Yuzi, Tanga, great Samgi, Jing Gulani, Hagi, Nilu de Hakoyadam. Is so a Tangur Samgani, Pajo Gula, Tuchatobe, and Ebe, Tucha, Karaji, Tugu in a tit, Tutuyagi, Vision Tetuares. Tinjunga, thank you was Sidigala, Ani Kandijila, ni thank you was Sigoresina, Ani Tunda Oma Tezuina, Dodebina, Chanchos. Zuni Chancho Sundu Badu, remember to be killing Gores, and do all that Chunushi, then do the tap, Tunta Oma, Chending Nigare, E. Colo Tampo, Chet Java, any bear, Kuntuzade, Chemdendi, Rinji Chocola, Kuntuche, and it Tundani teaching worry. Ta Colo Papa, searching into the Rimbuchi, any Dilateni, any Tangu, Umapa sing the Jore, Tenane, Uma Tangu will Tawa the Tore, Tape, Zunin and Jambato, Demarmeba, and it's Tutu, Ninja, tiresome, any killing in the Sugaris. Then Colos Barbas Tama and Nebe lecture Chobode, join into the Punda kitchen and the Mendongi, they that's Chetam Senzambare. Senzambazil, any pay, Ayam, Lecture Chokor, Doy Gondeletini, Senzambetawa the Chore. What the Tindigi, Imbinani, that under the Shijing in Doy Gombatal Goris. Thank you, Kaptula.
So, Ganesh said he don't remember exactly where we stopped last time, so we will start from the beginning of the middle way consequence school. So middle way consequence school or Madhyamika Prasangika is considered as the ultimate or the highest school of thoughts and the ultimate view of the Buddhist philosophy. And their followers, it will come later in the text, the Buddha Palita, Chantapriti, Shantideva. These are the masters who propound and these middle way consequence school. And so when we look at the because all school of thoughts, the original sources traces back to the three turning of the wheel of Dharma. The first turning of the wheel of Dharma. From the first turning of the wheel of Dharma arises two lower school, Great Exposition School and Sutra School, and then second turning of the wheel of Dharma. From that arises middle way school and specifically middle way consequence school, because in the middle way consequence schools, all phenomena beginning from the form until the highest level of enlightenment, they interpret that all phenomena doesn't have inherent existence or intrinsic existence or true existence. They exist simply at the level of designation or imputation. While first turning of the wheel of Dharma, the first two school of thoughts, they interpret that phenomena beginning from the form all the way up to 37 practices of bodhisattvas. They all have a true existence or inherent existence, and from the final turning of the wheel of Dharma arises the philosophy of the mind-only school. And if you remember, three nature or three characters, qualifications, thoroughly establish phenomena, and imputed phenomena. Kunda da shewani tendu bro.
Yung dendu kunda chedene.
So if you remember from the earlier teachings, the mind-only school's philosophy, that imputed phenomena, they are lack of inherent existence or lack of independent existence, while thoroughly established phenomena and other powered nature or phenomena has true existence. So, now we will start or deal with the higher school of thoughts, the middle way, consequent school.
다 단규의 최탐제 뒤쪽 민경 다여 점쓰기도 와. 다티 젬버메 봐 최탐제 라징이 마투바 젬버메 봐 젬베 동아리 시디가라 다 니루 므마데 따티 숭용 거래. 다 젬베 동아리 시디가라 젬바데 간리지. 젬바데 일 코란 파기니 추투 중에 다 동니 쪽 젬베 고바 터도데 가르잖아. 체트자의 늘제 귤라 누구나 지게기 탑시시래. 누가 데 강을 페니 쪽으로서데 단지 머리 벌레 테니 쪽이요래. 단 녀몽을 테니 쪽이래. 누가 녀몽을 테니 쪽. 녀몽 강을 텐비 지데 텐지데 단지 머리 버셔야 돼. 머리 바 싱데라 미시바참 딱 뭐징기요 말해. 아주 미시바참 고 Terlote mikan cheese sigro. Desam sigro mare. Pengalda mintincho. Ripa yanta pengalda. Captain Guzen Selni, Ripatani Guzen Selni, any puggy ko measoyani. Around to tea, the end of a ripping galda mintincho, that Denver to Vati, then to Chari. Around to Pagine, do samba, Pagine, you'll run to yoga. What tindewe Mari Patela, any Ripayanta, Rametobi, Ripataki, Nugiore, Tinjung Ripataki, Nugiore. What a Tindawa, Numon Sawanikoe Tapsiji, that Sijing Duka. Thank you, Tawatigita. Sawa and a Maribala is Sunchunati. Hablam so the Chadiores. The Kacham Chadiores. Maranzo. Dewan de Zungal Mindana, Ta Zungal Kanlin Juni, Sawa, Zanzi Maripati, Sakwa gave the kitchen for it. Tinjigala, Zemegi, Pagi, Zemerme Badem, the Marmatu, Zeme, Tenambabe, Tawatigi, any pay, Gacha the Muezing with the kitchen for it.
So why they are called consequentialist, it is on page 302 if you have same translated book. They are called consequentialist because they assert that an inferring consciousness that realizes the thesis that phenomena do not inherently exist can be generated in the continuum of other parties just by presenting the person with an absurd consequence of their own position. So this is the etymology or the literal meaning of why this school is called consequentialist. And as you know, the main, the concept of the middle way consequence school is that all phenomena are lack of, independent existence or inherent existence or intrinsic existence. Or they are all by nature dependent origination, and so when we say lack of true existence, we need to understand, what is the truth. When they say true existence, what is the truth, and the understanding of emptiness, and the ultimate reason for showing or teaching of the emptiness is to eliminate the very root cause of the suffering or ignorance. And the all sufferings that we experience are the result of ignorance or not knowing. And here, when we say ignorance or not knowing, we are not it simply doesn't refers to kind of lack of knowledge or not seeing. Rather, it refers to the exact opposite of the negative reasoning. And the another way of saying is that this refers to the true existence of the phenomena, or self-sufficiently existent phenomena. And and this is what is taught in the Sutra of the Transcendental Wisdom. The Sutra of the Transcendental Wisdom deals with the philosophy of the Middle Way Consequence School. And so kind of the bottom line is that this sutra deals with how to eliminate the root cause of ignorance and not knowing. And because we all desire for happiness, and we don't want suffering. So in order to kind of translate that into reality, what we need to do is eliminate the cause of suffering from its very root, and only through that we will be able to eliminate suffering, and no more experience of suffering. So in order to understand this lack of true existence, lack of independent existence, or lack of intrinsic existence, we need to understand, as we mentioned many times before, what is the object of negation. What are we trying to negate philosophically, when we say lack of or empty of.
Tindawa telam bagin junta dikke chimbu shucha de ore shejing dosi de gala ngone yeba de pudichu ni ore tili di bade ne pudisu ni ore tili di bade jatham bare tili di bade sherenging boz de ne be shoro ga ni telji da ni chi de ota tendi chi de gala jung gach mo cha de anche be ni jeja de ji chimbu chi de chue tamche ge ni lu ngobin नेचुरल कंडीशन नहीं है में समलोचतान मादा हमें को है जी को ngobin नेचुरल देते चाहते तीन भी गला समलोचता मरां जो रिबन जिंचे इन्हें लोग दवा तुझे ने दे थोड़ा ngobajे को दे पैकेज को दे पता नहीं दावे मांगे देशी को मरते हैं कहाँ से पता नहीं दूसरे जुगी है
So the Sutra of the Transcendental Wisdom is the scripture or the text that deals with the Middle Way Consequence School, and this sutra, or the teachings by Buddha himself, is very extensive text and philosophically very profound, and the most detail, it has 12 heaps of teaching. And the more shorter, there are 3 heaps of teaching, and then 8,000 verses. And the most concise form is the Heart Sutra, which has 24 verses, the text. So, it's a very detailed, extensive text, context-wise, very profound, deep, and it needs, lots of effort, concentration in order to understand, because the whole text and the subject here deals with what is reality of the phenomena. So so it takes years or many months, and it is important to understand kind of the effort or the timing necessary to spend to understand the text.
Lepate samshot chari. Ngaranzo mi inzong Dundo Semjin, Busing Pagi, Guja Yangi, Inchinjela, Salave, the Watsalgore, Doriade, Dungal Durgin, Samgore, Dungal Dugo, Suchil and Dugo. Oinkyang, Devi Pung, Dungal Nadia Karjore. Nilu Muema de Mashi, Rochinji Login, Rochinji Log, Maribi, Jaman to Noyo Wangi, Mata, Tandaporto Tinichi Levery. Wata Rochinji Log, Maripadi, Kasa, Nilu Muema, any Lotintin, Agi, Yuli in Dengi, Nilu Muema de Zamotombani, singing the Chabare. But that tea. That Jundi Kapu, Mune, Chisel Nasa Chine, Tame War. The tea in Dugala, package of Junda Kitchen with each other.
So Guru said, he's trying to explain whatever he knows about this particular subject, although he doesn't know much about it. As a human being with the, human brain and intelligence, not only us, but all sentient beings, the common things that we have, desire for happiness and not wanting suffering. And with this desire, we all sort of try to follow, and we all think that we are trying to, achieve happiness and avoid suffering. But out of not knowing the reality, we never kind of fulfill this mission. We always end up, with suffering, more difficulties, a problem. And the reason is because we lack, the understanding of the reality of the phenomena, and that is, emptiness of the phenomena. And so this specific school, middle way consequence schools, kind of very, openly, precisely deals with the, the nature of the emptiness. So therefore, it's kind of important, this, the content, the subject matter of this school is very kind of important.
Oda niba thangyui lu shepala singi dashi dosu tangboni rangi singi tuba thanye tunde mijebe ngoni member mawa thangyui singi isido ta singi ta senjide tagi yusarje sangi kyang data jiwala ta rangi singi tuba Tangi Sanduya, Kimilens of Aransing Tuba, Karzana Tangula, Aransing Tuba, Rangun Tuba, Ranjingi Tuba, Zembar Tuba, Tisu, say Jasa the Chichaba, Kardis Sabazana, Aransing Tubna, Suchila Mateva, Kaking Koranguni, you Korang to Pupuari. Rangun Tubna, Korang, you Korang, Dukin Jella Mateva. Minda nipe chada chajin la malteba minda thanye la malteba khorangoni chi chungina rajing ki tubare ransing ki tubare rangun tubare kanje teso dulu chi chari oda tin jigala rang singi tuba thanye chumpe nije siare detu buar ngone phagi chi gachi nichi de Karsa Dunda Save Teacher Rangun Vendu more to some Gacha Chita. Remember to Baransing to Barangan to Bala, more to Gacha Nechi days, Gacha Chiris, Korangone Mat Sutu Kerkang or Korangone to be a in Gacha Tagaran to Baramata Jandar to your mother. Then to more to some Gacha Chis. When you judge from the Savan of the Sunga. When it did some young of the tongue with the pay, Miss Kitchen.
Middle way school, consequence school, page 301. If you have a textbook, the presentation of the tenets of the consequentialist is in three parts: definition, etymology, and assertions of tenets. The definition of a consequentialist is the proponent of non-entityness who does not assert that phenomena exist by way of their own character, even conventionally. Illustrations are Buddha Palita, Chandrakriti, and Shantidevas, and these are the scholars that follow and that holds this philosophy. And according to the middle way consequence school, the different ways of using the vocabulary, we mentioned this before: lack of self-sufficient existence, lack of true existence, lack of conventional existence. Although they use different kind of vocabulary, but they all ultimately refers to just one kind of thing, and that is a phenomena doesn't exist from its own side, from objective side. Lack of self-sufficient existence of the phenomena. Lack of existence of phenomena without relying upon, if you remember from the previous teaching, labeling or parts or its branches, or so without relying upon these. So in the root text of the Tenets by Kunchen Jamasheva, he kind of clarifies on this by saying that although they mention these different vocabularies, but they ultimately refers to only one thing. Behind all this, there's only one kind of meaning, that is, phenomena does not exist from its own side. Here kind of, although different vocabulary terminology, but if you really kind of think more deeper, it will basically come down to only kind of one thing.
Samlo nempuji matana penan di singing ball the konangoni yamana tubudo regeduwa ji saji tusi samukurwa konangoni yamara sede ko gyukinla mateba ko chada chajilla mateba ming dala mateba konangoni ji tutanji ti yamara se labgor mato jella mateba ni be tutanji yamara labgor ma ko yamara se labgor marwa कोई और गंगा जमी की तुम गौरे दूना रात गौरे गंगा चिकी तो लो है नि पे भागी थमाल में लोगी नांसे नाजिंग कोई चावचे थूक तो पाको खोरांगवनी चिट्रुमना कोई युकिन ला माते बाजी मीचे मासे बाजी ची योंगु हुआ सुची ला माते बाजी तेती हमारे लागे Rangun trupte tendicity. Rangun trupte, ranjing trupte, Suchi la mate was to be inna. Ini Kurangun tubare. Tati, your marilla water. What is you, young Chapardi? King was a package in Bono, Umbo Mambuche, some Mambutangu. Some Janamare.
So, when we say, according to this school, that things doesn't exist from, its own side, we are not saying that the thing doesn't exist at all. So, for example, if you look at this singing ball does exist. We can feel it when you hit with a stick. We can hear the sound, and it does function according the way it appears to the ordinary, consciousness. But what we are saying here is that when we said things doesn't exist from its own side, we are saying that things, the sinking ball doesn't exist independently by its own kind of, power, and the existence of the sinking ball relies upon, labeling its different parts, kind of, coming together. So without relying upon all these different factors, there is no sinking ball existing independently. So here, basically, what when they say that things doesn't exist independently or its own side, what they are saying is that things doesn't exist without relying upon cause and factors. And if thinking will exist independently, then it should exist out there without relying upon whatever causes and factors that is necessary to produce this thing. So that kind of things doesn't exist out there. It exists kind of in a such way that lack of independent existence, lack of self-sufficient existence. So it takes kind of deep analysis to understand what is the reality according to the school. So what is important here is when the school use a lack of self-sufficient or lack of true existence, and when it also says that it exists at the conventional level, you need to kind of know how or why they are saying this kind of specific vocabulary. Kind of try to know exactly or precisely what is the boundary when they said they exist independently or lack of independent existence. I will take a break here.